right, welcome to this interview segment. We will be speaking with the member representing Ethio Federal constituency at the House of Representatives, talking about Honorable Ben Roland Igbakpa, who will be joining us via telephone, and he will be telling us one or two things about this hula baloo about budget padding, and then of course all right, we have him here live on line, on telephone. Honorable Ben Igbakpa, a very good morning to you, and Happy New Year, sir.
Good morning to you, good morning to Delta.
All right, yes, you are a member representing the Ethio Federal constituency at the Green Chambers. Tell us the year 2021. Issue of lawmaking in the greenhouse. How has it been?
Well, the year 2021 has been one very eventful year because of some landmark piece of legislation that either came from the executive or within us as the House. I think predominantly we have, I want to talk about PIB and the still crisis and issue-laden electoral amendment law, then the constitution amendment. For me, those are the landmark bills for the year.
All right, we'll take it one after the other. The constitution amendment bill, we seem not to have heard much about it. It's as if it has fizzled out. What is the position?
No, constitutional amendment is a very tedious. Remember, we went around. The states was, the entire country was broken into zones. Myself, as a representative of Delta State in the committee, I was in the Kano Zamfara zone. We've gone around. We've collected memoranda from the public. And those submissions are being analyzed presently by a team of consultants. From time to time, they update us on what they have done, and when they come, we have to push them back. This is what is expected. This is what the people are saying. So it's been back and forth, but it's not that it has fizzled out. A lot of work is ongoing, and the committee is still very much intact. Though it's an ad-hoc committee, which comes up every 4 years, headed by the deputy speaker. Is becoming more or less like a standing committee, but the committee is still in place, and until the consultants make their submission, where we as a house will debate and forward them to the state assemblies for their input.
Now, on this issue of Constitution Review Committee, is it possible for us to fix a time frame when Nigerians should be expecting? Because it's like what is actually happening in Nigeria. A lot of people are saying, okay, let's review this constitution, let's amend it so that we can get it right. Is it possible to have a time frame?
Yes, for me, I think there should be a time frame. It's been on for a year plus now. We should be looking at most by the first quarter of this year, so that the state assemblies can have their time to do what they have to do. Most times the state assembly, what they do is just to vote yes, nay to certain provisions. But you see, constitutional amendment has actually been hampered by the state assembly most times, because the governors most times does not agree with the position of the national assemblies, and because of the overbearing effect, they just tell the state assembly, throw away the baby and the bathwater. And that, I think, is unfair. We should learn in Nigeria to start separating the good one from the bad one, instead of throwing away the entire process because of certain clauses. Because if you look at the amendment, there's about 16 thematic areas: resource control, state creation, local government autonomy, financial autonomy for legislation, electoral act amendment, and so many. Then revenue sharing. They are quite thorny when it comes to the relationship of the center and the regional government, which are the state government. So most times you really find difficult being at the front burner, where we expect the local governments to actually do their role, play their role as a grassroots government. But there are cases where the government, then the state assemblies consider the local governments an appendage, and they press them every time at every given opportunity. Then again, look at the constitutional provision where the states, the appointment of auditor generals, and what they do, they submit it to the state assembly. Then possibly you're telling me that the councillors have no job. So we'll look at that. Then again, the issue of autonomy, like primary school teachers' payment, which is left in the hands of the local government, and they don't have the funding to do that. Those are critical areas that need to be moved from this grassroots government and moved either to the state or to the federal. Then today you have over 7,000 primary health centers all over the country that are not working. Because if we're actually saying under this section 14 of the Constitution about the primary responsibility of government to be security and welfare of the people, then I think they should not leave those critical areas like primary health center, teachers' salaries in the hands of local government, when you know that in the revenue sharing they don't have the wherewithal to do them. So government must come, the Constitution and our action must work pari passu, so that you don't just say it as a constitution that the primary responsibility of government is security and welfare of the people, and you are telling the people not to enjoy good health care. Primary health centers are built everywhere. The local government can't even afford to employ people to run them. At the end of the day, instead of people going to primary health centers, they are going to tertiary and secondary health centers, which again put a lot of burden and stress on those facilities. So we must get it right by getting the local government to function. So those are some of the thorny issues which I know some governors will not agree with. And if they don't agree with it, they are going to tell their state to shut it down. And you know, the kind of the constitutional democracy we run. If the state does not agree with us, to tell the state disagree with us, then whatever we have done is null and void. So, but we'll try. I think Nigerians are beginning to understand the fact. I want to thank our governor here in Delta State. It's been one life support for the local government because of the burden of the primary school teachers. The governor has to go extra most times to borrow and ensure that the local government is able to put their salary and live up to their responsibility to emolument. But what about development? They can't. The local government cannot do roads. They can't do anything. They can't even build anything. Their main work is to pay salaries and remain there. At the end of the day, it turned out to be the same thing when people say that local government, the arm of government in Nigeria is like settlement for the boys.
All right, Honorable, very quickly, the issue of electoral amendment bill, it has raised a lot of dust. And recently the president has adduced some reasons why he will not append his signature to it. These reasons raised by the president, do they hold water?
Yes, as an individual, because once a law has been passed, because since we are running a constitutional democracy where they say two-thirds majority agrees, once two-thirds majority agrees, irrespective of your position, you are bound by it. But as an individual, I believe that yes, I think the contentious issue in that electoral act is that direct primaries. Nobody is talking anything about the electronic transmission. The electronic transmission is the way to go. But for the direct primaries, I have my own issue as an individual with it, because we are not ready. You don't put the cart before the horse. Who is going to pull who? Because if you're saying we're doing direct primaries when you don't even have the structure on ground, be it security, be it economy, you don't have it. We don't have it yet. It is good, yes, that people should be involved in selecting a candidate to represent their party. I quite agree. But do we have the structure in place? Do we have the wherewithal to do it? Do we have, judging from the fact today that insecurity is the bane of the country, you don't even know who is carrying a bomb. You want to put people together. You don't know who is who. I think for now, I agree with the president wholeheartedly adopt all his submissions and his fears that for now let us forget the issue of direct primaries. Let the party, because again, when you are talking about the constitution provide for freedom of association, and if people are to associate and you are not giving them the freedom to choose their mode of existence internally, then I think you are you are being overbearing. The National Assembly has no business going into issues of primaries and how parties should run it. We had it there before as through voice vote, direct or indirect. Let the parties choose. If they have the structure, if they have the wherewithal, they should choose, not the National Assembly putting everybody in one basket. I think that is unfair. That should be a thinking of a party. But even within the party, the APC that we thought were behind it, a lot of the governors came out and said, no, we are not agreeing with it. And I know the position of my party, the PDP. PDP was actually waiting for Mr. President to sign, and they will go to court, because that takes away their right. That takes away the independence of the party to decide how they should run their primary. So I quite agree with Mr. President, and I believe that is the trend to go.
Now, some Nigerians have also said, this issue of electoral amendment bill should be given the desired speed, attention that it needs, especially with election around the corner. Recall that before this dispensation, the last election that we had, the president said it was too close to the election. Are we likely to have the same reason at the end of the day with what is happening? And you guys are on break now. Is it not possible for you guys to cut short your holiday and attend to this very important issue as Nigerians are asking for? Will it be too much?
The leadership of the House, they are discussing, and we're being carried along in this discussion. We're looking at maybe the first or the second week. We might go in just because of this assignment. This is something that has a baby. That is what you take. A lot of people, like Mr. President or any other person looking at, has a baby inside, and no right thinking person will want to throw away the baby and the bathwater this time. We know, yes, there are areas of contention. If you feel that direct primary is the issue, let's remove direct primaries. And the other issue that I consider very, very paramount in this amendment is the issue of electronic transmission. And because of that, we will be going in very soon. Actually, we are not on a long break. We are resuming on the 18th. But any last minute change, we are looking at going back on I think about 11 or so to see what can be done. There's something we can do within a few minutes. It's not going to be like before. What we do is just to receive the bill back, do the necessary amendment, adopt that amendment, and forward it back to Mr. President. Two houses can just do it simultaneously and forward it back to Mr. President for access, so that we can get it in on time. Because really, if it's too close to the election, you will consider INEC that is going to implement it. If there's no time for them to implement, then it is useless. So let us try as much as possible. We will do it. We're thinking about it. We are talking. We're discussing in our platform to see that we can go back. We are public servants, and we're supposed to be ready at all times, like the political army that we are presently, to go back and work at every time that we are called upon by Nigerians and duty calls.
Honorable Ben, very quickly, the issue of budget padding has resurfaced. Do you guys, the president has said that, the National Assembly, has come up again with this budget padding. Do you guys pad?
Well, it's unfortunate if Mr. President thinks that way, but he seems to forget that Section 81, 82, and 83 of the Constitution gives the power of the pulse to the National Assembly. And whatever they are bringing, whether he agrees or not, is a proposal. He brings a proposal, and a proposal is not definite. A proposal is subject to amendment, and if the National Assembly consider it, let's imagine, as we are, if there's a critical infrastructure going on in my constituency, and I see that it is not there or it's not properly provided for, and I'm the representative and I have the powers to touch and tinker with the budget to accommodate that project, which is critical on national issues, not just about me or my village. It's something that has to do with the economy, something that has to do with security, I think there's nothing wrong. The National Assembly only exercise what the Constitution has given them to do. Mr. President, in Section 81 or so of the Constitution is to bring the budget. And it is our responsibility to tinker with the budget in such a way that it fits the yearning and aspiration of the country. Yes, there might be an economic plan. That economic plan, we look at it vis-a-vis what they have brought and straighten it in such a way that will work for the country. You can't say you are building a Niger, for instance, the second Niger bridge, and you are putting 100 million. It shows you don't want to do it. So we must say, get to the minister in charge. What will it take to complete this project? Because you're saying that you complete it within X, Y, Z time. We need to put in the money. So that is it. There's nothing like budget padding. Budget padding for me is alien, but I will consider it when Mr. President has signed and something new creeps into the budget. That I will consider budget padding, but not in the process of doing a constitutional responsibility. That is the assignment the Constitution has given to us, the power of the purse, and that is what the National Assembly has done. So there's nothing wrong. They've not done anything wrong.
Honorable, a very quick one, and on a lighter note, is there anything like budget padding?
Nothing like budget padding. Nothing.
Sir?
It will be criminal if after the president has signed and released the budget and something else is added to the budget. That is what I'll say, that somebody padded the budget, and that is illegal. But so long as the president has not signed, and it's the course of our responsibility to ensure that the budget fall in line with the economic plans of the country, that is not budget planning. That is doing the work that the Constitution gave to the Parliament.
All right, very quickly, what do you have to say to your constituents as we celebrate the year 2021? What are they expecting from you as their representative?
Well, for 2021, we have some very serious assignment that we are working. You know, lawmaking is a process. There are bills which I will consider very dear to my heart, especially the Federal University Isiokoro in Ethiopia, the Federal Medical Center in Novara, and the College of Aviation that has gone. One has been passed. The Federal Medical Center has been passed. It's going to Senate for concurrence. Then the other two has gone through second reading. As soon as we resume, we'll be doing the public hearing for them. And by the grace of God, all things being equal, we should get them passed and see how we can follow through. Because after the passage, it becomes a political issue of how it can be passed. And again, that's why one of the things we're praying, that we have the president at the center that will listen to us more to ensure that this work we are doing is listened to. Because for now, we're in opposition. It's not easy. Even rolling out bills are not easy. Coming out with emotions, but be rest assured in Ethiopia Federal and Delta State, because there we don't represent one individual, our individual constituencies. There are issues where everybody, irrespective of party affiliation, will become bipartisan. So long as it belongs to Delta State, we work together as a team to ensure that we bring back home the dividend of democracy. And that is what I'm going to do as a team player, to work with my colleagues to ensure that we bring back what is expected of us and our voice will be heard. Because that is one of the key rules. If you are a legislator, you make laws, you represent, and you do oversight. Then we're thinking again of really taking our oversight serious in this 2022. Because that is the only way we can put the executive on their toes. Now that they are saying that budgets are being padded, the monies are not going to be spent by the parliament. We don't have access to the money. The monies are still going to the ministries. Mr. President said so many projects were introduced to the Ministry of Agri. Who is going to be the minister? Is he a parliamentarian? Is he a member of House of Reps or a senator? No. The executive will still executive. So we increase our oversight and ensure that Nigerians get value for money.
It's been nice talking with you, Honorable Ben Roland Igbakpa, member representing House Ethiopia Federal Constituency at the Green Chambers. We wish you a happy and a successful stay at the Green Chambers.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Happy New Year to all of you.
All right. All right. That has been Honorable Ben Roland Igbakpa, member House of Representatives, representing Ethiopia Federal Constituency in the Green Chambers, talking to us on what is actually happening the Green Chambers in the year 2021, what their plans are for Ethiopia federal constituents in the year 2022. He's spoken at length, and I'm being joined by, here in the studio, by Honorable Hope Judge, SSA to the Governor on Political Affairs. Hope Judge, a very good morning to you.
Very good morning to our viewers. Happy New Year.
All right. We will be looking at, you heard the honorable gentleman who, Ben Igbakpa, he spoke at length on the issue. You are also a politician. Let's begin with this issue of electoral amendment bill that the president has, pointed out some reasons why he will not sign it. What's your take on this?
Yeah, sincerely, I think I'm fully in line with the summation of Honorable Ben Igbakpa, member representing Icho Federal Constituency, and if I will borrow his words, I also want to adopt Mr. President's reason. It's obvious, like I keep telling people. So some people will tell you that the direct primaries will affect the governors. The governors don't want it to fly. It is not true. I keep telling people that for now Nigeria cannot conduct direct primaries.
What are your reasons?
The truth is that if you look at in the past where we try to organize direct primaries, the venue will be full to capacity. You don't know who is who. You don't know what the next man standing by you is carrying. And the situation today in Nigeria where there is insecurity everywhere, once just small boy can act as a crate and run into a candidate, even you that is there to cast your vote and release a dagger into your stomach, can pour you acid, it can shoot you, and it will go scot-free because the crowd is as much as you cannot control.
When you talk about crowd, this is it going to be word by word, or you say, okay, the whole of Delta State, let's come and pick whatever? How do you, when you say crowd, I don't understand.
Yeah, for example, if you want to do a direct primaries for a councillor,
yeah, okay,
it takes place in the ward.
okay.
If you want to do a direct primaries for a local government chairman,
Yeah.
the entire local government, the ward comprising that local government, 10, 12, 30, as the case may be, comes together
At a place.
at a venue.
Okay.
If you want to do a direct primary for a senator or a House of Representative member, they converge at the constituency headquarters. For Senate, they converge at the Senate Central headquarters. Therefore, the governor, they converge at the state headquarters in a venue. And
The president?
they also converge at a venue.
Okay.
If you don't want to do that, you want to do it in another way, maybe to reduce the crowd. Every ward will be doing theirs
Simultaneously.
And at that time, you now look at the manpower. INEC is supposed to be in all the electoral venue at the time of conducting primaries, because that is the law. If INEC is not there, it is not void. Okay, can INEC provide, for example, if primaries is holding in Warri South local government today where we have 12 wards, you understand? In Delta State we have 270 wards. Is it possible for INEC to provide for that?
Has INEC said that they don't have the capacity to do
They
this?
said so, and ordinarily looking at it, they said they don't have that capacity of manpower and also security to provide for security agents. So outside that, INEC providing for them, even the political party also need to get their team in place that will go around. Like I tell people, if a governor of a state has an interest on who become the governor if we are doing that of governor. And the governor, we all know they are in charge of the parties, they control the parties. It's what they say that the party do. You cannot take it from them. They are the custodian of political parties of their state.
Irrespective of the party chairman.
Because they are the leaders of the party, they fund the party. And by so doing, they have control. It's just for the state party chairman to say, you, XYZ, go to this local government, return this person, go to this local government, return this person. It has been like that in the past when we do direct primaries. So you that does not know the governor, or you that does not have a godfather who can speak with the governor, your chances is slim of winning any primary. But in a delegate, which is the indirect method, if you...
Who are those that nominate the delegates?
The delegates is supposed to be elected.
But they are not elected.
They are supposed to be elected. In some cases, they have consensus. But by law, primaries will still be held for those to emerge as adult delegates.
Has that been the practice?
In supervision with INEC, yes. That has been the practice. For
so
example,
if you didn't nurse the insecurity challenges and other logistics, you know, while having that primary to elect or select your delegates, why would you now have not the same fears?
You see, because of that fears of insecurity and hoodlums taking over the process. If you watch what happened in Safara Yosla, the PDP could not do their congress. Hoodlums came and take over the place. What we do here in Delta and what we have done in the past, and it has helped us under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Kowa and Barzak Islesis as state chairman, is consensus. We follow the rules. There is guideline, there is time.
Consensus is constitutional?
Yes. There is guideline, there is constitution, there is understanding. The party at the national release guideline and we follow. But in Delta State here, what we have done lately, which has helped us, we now, power now go back to the various wards. You are the people on ground. This is what we want. The party wants 3 delegates in line with the party constitution. Or the party wants executive members to emerge. You know, recently what we did in 2015 was election for ward executive to that gave us a national chairman recently. So in that ward there are structures, elders, leaders. There is what we call ward congress. The ward congress is in charge of what transpire in the world. So in that process, you convert the World Congress.
Okay. Because we don't have the whole time, the issue of cost was also raised, that the cost of running it is expensive. Have you also, the issue of, what do you call them, the delegates who have also compromised, give them money, settle them, that cost and corruption?
I think on that, in a situation where a delegate will collect money from you, and at the end of the day, the delegate may not vote 2 of us. He may vote on XYZ, who also gave he or she money, is the issue here. But I think the way we can manage that, it's not an easy thing anyway, because the law says open secret. So it did not just say I'm sure A4. Some persons say let it be on sure A4 where you queue behind who you want. So everybody sees who you are voting for. But internally we also look at it. It causes issues at the party level at the end of the day.
Indirect primaries, is it constitutional? Is it democratic, sorry?
Yes, it's democratic, because why the party do that, it's not just only one party, a lot of parties do that. Just go there quietly, gather the delegate for Warisa, for example, that we know the numbers of delegates already. If it's the party constitution or the party guideline for that election will give you the numbers. So based on the numbers, you gather the people and security will be provided. But the problem we get in the election is the money being spent by politicians. And those who do not have money have difficulty
to your tent to Israel.
But at times, the people vote for you if they believe in you. We did an election where somebody paid to 200,000, somebody paid $1,000, somebody paid 1 million. That I paid to 200,000 won the election. So at times, the people vote their conscience.
That is also against the law.
Yes, it's against the law.
Both the giver and the taker.
The taker, yeah.
And the takee. All right, I've been speaking with Honorable Hope George, SSA to the Governor on Political Affairs. Thank you very much. Time will not permit us to go further than this. We would have loved to have some other issues.
We'll come back when Mr. President signs finally.
Okay.
Let's see how the National Assembly go about it in January.
Okay.
But I'm sure they will deal with it squarely.
Okay.
Nigerians will be happy.
All right, Nigerians, Deltans are waiting and watching to see what happens next. And I'm sure Deltans are watching Morning Watch this morning, because that's the name of the program, Morning Watch, to see what will be coming up after this time out. But we'll take a break here, and all right, I think we should be rounding it off. Yes, we're rounding it off here, and that's the much we can